Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into today's video. Let's jump into the latest Eagles news and rumors here on a Monday, starting with a little bit of drama. There's an interesting article put out by the Philadelphia Inquirer that I think you guys are going to be, let's just say, curious about what's inside. And now it has to do with Fletcher Cox. So here's the deal. The report comes via the Inquirer that there is internal concern that Cox does not want to retire an Eagle and that he's not seemed committed to the organization going forward. Now, you sit there and you go, okay, what does that really mean? And we'll give you the article, part of the article here in just one second. But the first initial thought process is, well, he can't really go anywhere, right? Because he's signed through 2022, so he has at least 2 years left on a very expensive deal, unless someone wants to trade for him, which I guess is a possibility. But again, the guy's due like $15 million the next couple of years, and it's a lot of dead cap money. So he's not going to be traded. They obviously can't cut him. So what's the real story here? That's what I kept asking as I read through the entire article. Here is the small quote that has people all up in arms on Twitter right now from the Philadelphia Inquirer on Fletcher Cox. Quote, "And there is internal concern that he won't take the extra steps as he enters his 30s to retire in Philadelphia. The Eagles aren't tanking in 2021, but they are a team in transition. Does Cox view himself as a veteran bridge to the brighter days, e.g. Brandon Graham and Jason Kelce, or as one of the centerpieces of that future? If it's the latter, finishing out his contract or getting an extension could hinge on this season," end quote. So what's the story here? And again, I'm like trying to figure this out with you guys because people are really concerned about this on Twitter, and yet I think we all can understand. I mean, the Eagles know Cox's time is ending. I don't think that they sit back and they say, oh yeah, Fletcher Cox is going to be an Eagle in 5 years. He's 30. And the guy has been incredibly fantastic in Philadelphia, the best defensive lineman maybe my entire lifetime. I mean, he's been really, really good in my 25 years, but it's not like he's been flawless. He's had a little bit of off the field in terms of, butting heads with some coaches, and he's cost a lot of money, and he's had injury issues. And so I don't think we sit back and we go, oh my goodness, there's internal concern. He might not want to be an Eagle after his contract is up in 2 years. He might not be good in 2 years, right? I mean, you could be seeing the downtrend of Fletcher Cox starting this year. Now, if he balls out, then maybe you do a contract extension. I'm not bashing Fletcher Cox. I think he's a great player, and I want him to be in Philadelphia. He's going to be a huge factor in the Eagles' success this year, whether they win a lot of games or lose a lot of games. But I don't know why we sit back and go, oh my goodness, this is a big storyline, because they could lose him eventually, but not anytime soon because of the contract, right? Like, it's a weird overall thing. I will say this, though. The Eagles' defensive line will still be good if Cox is not in there. I mean, it's not going to be as good because Cox is obviously the best player on that entire defensive line, but it would still be a strength of the team if Cox remains in Philadelphia, or let me say if he were to leave Philadelphia somehow in some magical trade in the next couple of seasons. The reason they went ahead and re-signed Javon Hargrave was the big reason because he's a good defensive lineman, and I think you put him next to maybe the rookie they took in the third round could be a thought process there. You get another guy in the draft upcoming. They could easily plug in and fix the Fletcher Cox hole if that were to become a hole. And again, this is not saying they're going to trade him, but it's saying it could be a thing in the future. I just want to point out that even if they were to lose Fletcher Cox today, it would be an impact, but it wouldn't be a season ending like the Eagles are doomed in 2021 just because Fletcher Cox would not be there. Great player, best defensive player Philadelphia has by far, has been one of the best defensive players in the NFL. But the idea that there's internal concern he might not be here after his contract is up, it's like, well, that's true for every player, so what's the real storyline here? Unless Cox is hinting that he wants to get out of Philadelphia, which could be a whole different storyline, then you have to be forced to trade him after this year, who knows? But what I read with the Philadelphia Inquirer article was a lot of fluff and not a lot of actual hard fact behind that one little line saying there's concern he might not take the steps to retire an Eagle. So what we do, we break it all down here on Philadelphia on the channel, because I'm telling you, there's always a lot of drama on Twitter, and then you read into it, it's like, okay, not a lot of drama. I'll ask you guys this, though. Will Fletcher Cox retire an Eagle? What do you think? Is he going to retire an Eagle? If you think he will, type Y down below for yes. If you think he won't, go down below and type N down below for no. Okay, before we go ahead and keep going here, big shout out to our friends at Newsbreak and the Newsbreak app that keeps you up to date with all the latest local news, weather, sports, politics, whatever you want, the touch of a finger. Go to chatsports.com/EaglesNB. Download the Newsbreak app right now for your Android device or your Apple iPhone, and then put your zip code in, and you can start subscribing to all the different local news outlets that you possibly want, whether you're in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Inquirer, or if you're not in Philadelphia and you want to do stuff like in Atlanta, you can just put your zip code in or Atlanta's zip code in, and then you can go ahead and follow whatever you want in terms of the latest news and sports and politics and weather and all that sort of thing. Very easy to do. All you have to do, again, is download the Newsbreak app, chatsports.com/EaglesNB. You can also look up us in terms of Philadelphia Eagles Now, or Eagles Now by Chat Sports, and all of our videos and content that we do here on the channel will also populate on your Newsbreak app. So download that today and get to watching or viewing or reading the latest updates in your local community. Let's jump into some more Eagles news and rumors here as we get rolling on a Monday. And let's get back into the battle for the left tackle, as we call it right now. So we talked a lot about how there's an open battle at left tackle. At least we expected an open battle at left tackle. And yet, here we are on a Monday with some actual video from training camp that shows that they are indeed rotating both Andre Dillard and Jordan Mailata at left tackle over the past couple of days at voluntary OTAs. Now, they started Mailata, and we talked about that a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago. Mailata got the first team reps, but now it's kind of rotated back to where they're getting an even amount of snaps at left tackle. And so both seem interested and open to competition, and that's what it needs to be right now going into the 2021 season. Now, Andre Dillard was asked about competition and asked about Jordan Mailata, and I think we all expect Mailata to hopefully win the job, but don't count out Andre Dillard. Here's what Andre Dillard had to say, quote, let's see. I welcome all competition. I never shy away from it. I'm glad that's happening, and it makes sense that it's happening. Jordan, it's Mailata, came in and filled in last year, played most of the season. He played really well. So it makes sense for the coaches to give a little competition and not just give somebody the spot coming back from injury. We're really good friends, sit next to each other in the locker room, and we always pal around, end quote. Now, that's a good quote from Dillard, who, of course, a former first-round draft pick, could be upset that he, got hurt last year with the whole arm injury and then didn't even get to play, and now they're going to give the job to Mailata, and yet he's saying, no, I'm going to work for it, but I'm also buddies with Jordan. I'll support Jordan going forward. Now, I hope Mailata wins. I think most of us do, just based on some snaps and some plays that we saw last year where you see a guy who's bigger than every other left tackle in the National Football League, essentially, and it has the feet that are incredible. The guy moves with the best finesse at a left tackle spot that we've seen in the NFL in a long time. I mean, this can be a really, really good left tackle in the National Football League, but he still has to beat out, again, a former first-round draft pick in Andre Dillard, who was supposed to be the future at left tackle for the next 10 years. Either way, whoever wins, the best man win. If it's Dillard, great. If it's Mailata, then fantastic. I just hope that Mailata shows and proves that he's worthy of starting because he's cheap, and you could not only have Dillard as backup in case someone got injured or go on the trade market and get some good competition or return for a starting caliber left tackle in the National Football League. I'll ask you guys this. Who wins the left tackle job? Mailata or Dillard? I type M down below for Mailata, type D down below for Dillard. I think it'll be Mailata. I don't see how he's going to lose this based on what we saw last year, but it's any man's game right now, and the competition is wide open based on what we've seen from training camp. So give me your OTA. So give me your thoughts right now on who wins the left tackle job, Mailata or Dillard, down below. Okay, final bit of note here from Eagles OTAs, and has to do with the wide receiver position. I think you guys are going to like this little report. They have moved J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to the slot, at least during OTAs, so it doesn't necessarily guarantee that he's going to be in the slot during the regular season, but it looks like they're going to move him around in the offense and try and get him to be productive for once by playing him on the inside versus the outside, which is where he played the first two seasons in Philadelphia. Now, he's been abysmal when he enters the third year of a rookie deal. And so the question now becomes, will he even make the roster? And we talked about that here on the channel because they have a lot of other young guys, like a John Hightower, like a Rager in year number 2, and obviously drafting Devontae Smith. There are guys behind and in front of him currently on the depth chart who could go ahead and take his spot. So, will he go ahead and be the starting slot guy? Then, that's a question for, I guess, the Eagles offensive coordinator and the Eagles offense as a whole, but also for a guy like Greg Ward, who started officially in OTAs in the slot, and then they worked in what Whiteside alongside him based on a lot of reports. Again, Quez Watkins, John Hightower. You got, obviously, the undrafted free agent out of Florida, the undrafted free agent wide receiver out of Florida, who also comes in as a big red zone target, and Whiteside has his work cut out for him to go ahead and make this roster, but just maybe the slot is going to be a place for him to go ahead and succeed. Now, let me be honest here. I want Whiteside to succeed. I know we've been hard on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside for being, abysmal at wide receiver. The guy has been terrible. He had 4 catches last year, 8 targets. He's not been good. And honestly, if he keeps that up, he's going to be cut, and he deserves to be cut. But we want him to succeed. But you want a second-round draft pick who you took instead of DK Metcalf to actually be good. That way it doesn't turn out to be a draft bust because that's bad for the football team. So I hope he succeeds. I think moving to the slot can give him some success, especially in the red zone where he was very dominant at Stanford. That's why they took him, really, to be the next Alshon Jeffrey. But he has a lot of receivers, we mentioned them before, behind and in front of him who are going to try to take his snaps. And if he's not careful, then there's a very real possibility that he's cut, and it's crazy to think you'd cut a second-round draft pick after 3 years, but you can't have a guy taking up money, taking up a roster spot when there are younger guys behind him and in front of him who only has, 8 targets, as he did last year. So he needs to be healthy, he needs to get better, and maybe the slot move will go ahead and help him with that, but we obviously do not know, but that's the report from OTAs that he lined up in the slot a lot, which is new for him in Philadelphia. Will Whiteside make the team? I have a final question here on the show today. Will Whiteside make the team? Type 1 down below for yes, type 2 down below for no. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Okay, ultimate for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now on a Monday. Again, plenty of breaking news that we always cover here on the channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed as we approach 20,000 subs. We're trying to get to 20,000 subs by the start of training camp. So go down below and hit that big red subscribe button. It would help the channel out a bunch. And of course, more subscribers means more videos for you guys to go ahead and enjoy. Again, I'm Thomas Mott, Philadelphia Eagles Now, signing off for the rest of your day.